We're here in Pasadena, California at the Rose Bowl. We're here in the parking lots, and this area is definitely not a stranger to high traffic. But this is where the command post is for the Eaton fire that's currently here in the Altadena, Pasadena area of Los Angeles County. We currently have today just over 3,200 personnel assigned to this fire. And that's personnel, but also equipment. We have engines, water tenders, aircraft, all types of pieces of equipment and apparatus that are assigned to the incident, both fire, law enforcement, contractors, and civilians. So we have representation from agencies all over California, all over the nation. There's hundreds of different patches that you see walking by. That's the beauty of California's mass mutual aid system. We're a fine-tuned machine when it comes to assisting each other with large-scale wildfires here in California.
We know that the Eaton fire and fires throughout Los Angeles County have devastated families, children, and neighborhoods. Thanks to the Board of Supervisors, the chair of the board, Supervisor Barker, and the county family, LA County Parks is opening care camps at 4 park locations: Arcadia Park, Pamela Park, Crescenta Valley Park, and here at the beautiful LA County Arboretum. LA County Parks is ready to serve 500 youth by providing enriching, safe, and caring places for our youth. And here to share more about our care camps is Richard Smart, who is leading our care camp at the Arboretum.
Howdy everyone. We are excited working with some amazing park staff to create a fun, welcoming, and safe space and experience for youth at our care camps. We're going to have field trips, hands-on activities, free play, quiet spaces, active spaces, so much fun. We also are going to provide meals, and the Department of Mental Health will be on site to offer their services as well.
We want to make sure that youth and teens during this devastating time are okay, and want to also support the families. LA County Parks is ready to serve 500 youth at one of our camps, and it's all free. We welcome our youth, and we will not turn away any of our youth from one of our camps.
So today what we have is a local assistance center, but even more importantly, it's a disaster recovery center that FEMA has brought resources to assist victims from disasters. You can register with FEMA out in the front and follow up with the assistance that you might need. But once you come into this room, we have all the county agencies and all the state agencies that can help you access the services that you need.
I have personnel here to help property owners whose property was damaged or destroyed by the fires. Under California law, if your property was damaged or destroyed, you're entitled to property tax relief.
When you come in and you talk to each of our agencies, you find out that there's the ways that we can help you. Can't make the whole picture whole, but we can at least put puzzle pieces together, and so you're on the pathway to recovery.
My family, we lost our home in the fire. It's been very devastating. Here at Pasadena City College, they have a lot of great resources, more of a one-stop shop.
In the long term, we also want to make sure that we meet the needs of residents who are displaced or who might need a little bit more special service that the county government or the state government and the federal government can't really provide. So it becomes a more intimate relationship with the nonprofits and people who have lost as they try to get back on their feet and try to get back to a normal way of life.
One of the things I particularly want to emphasize right now is that scammers and profiteers are already at work. Do not pay for anything, for any government service. There's nothing that these people can do to help you with your application more than you can get directly from us.
When you're ready, we're here to provide the resources that you need to start your pathway to recovery.
Thank you, county officials, for doing that.
Good afternoon. This is Stephanie Bishop, one of the information officers with the Eaton Fire. We're currently at 14,021 acres and 87% containment. Starting tonight, we'll have an operational update with Operations Section Chief Joe Walton.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Joe Walton. I'll give you an operational brief. We'll start here in Branch 5. In the Mount Low area, we still have some heat. We're still working ground crews, and we worked aircraft this morning in that area. Mount Wilson, we still have some heat, and Winters Creek. We still have crews around the fire still working these areas and monitoring. Down here, when you can see it, we call them Branch 30. We've repopulated this, assisting with repopulation, and we've put a lot of resources in here to support that, and calls for service as well. We do have extra staffing in La Cañada group over in the Flint Ridge area. You may see a lot of resources over there. We're here to support all that. We also have an infrastructure branch that we have been working with the local public works and water, supporting them as well. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Next up, incident meteorologist James White.
Good afternoon, everyone. James White, incident meteorologist. As you probably heard, today has been a red flag warning day, and that's because we've had strong northeast wind on the fire in addition to very dry humidity. So even though we started the day down here at the lower elevations with that marine layer hanging on, we still had a little bit of haze and fog that has quickly cleared out, and now our humidity is exceptionally dry. We're down close to around 5-6% or so at the lower elevations. We've also had some gusty winds up at our upper elevations, and you get here around Highway 2, there's been some wind gusts recorded around 80 miles an hour, so that's very strong. Around the fire perimeter itself, we've seen some wind gusts around 50 miles per hour or so, and at the lower elevations, we've seen some gusts of 20 to 30 miles an hour, and that's the strongest wind those areas have seen since January 7th and when this fire started. Thankfully, that has already started to wind down for our fire area. That's because we're in a little bit of a protected bowl here. It's pretty difficult for wind to mix down. That doesn't mean there isn't wind going on in other places around the basin. So there's still strong winds, both north and south, and where the wind is channeled, still gusts going around 50 miles an hour. As we head through the night tonight, we're going to continue to be pretty calm here down in the lower elevations. Maybe some occasional gusts still through the evening, 20 to 30 miles an hour. But those kind of mid and upper elevation areas will still stay gusty through the night, gusts 40 to 50 miles an hour up on these peaks and ridges. Other parts of the area are going to still experience some gusty winds in general. So like if you're around Santa Clarita, or if you're around over in the coast in Oxnard, or even down south near Santa Ana itself, those are all places that will continue to see some of those gusty winds through the night tonight. But here, and especially in the rest of the San Gabriel Valley and other locations, these lower elevation places that are more protected are going to see mostly calm winds settle through tonight. We're going to get some general northeast wind that'll continue for the next few days, but for the most part it won't be a large concern. We're going to keep some of those gusty winds at those higher elevations, but most of the low elevations after tonight will remain protected. What we are hanging on to, though, is very, very dry air. We can expect those humidities to be in the single digits even overnight through Wednesday or Thursday or so. So we're going to stay pretty dry. It's also going to be pretty warm. I haven't talked about temperature very much when I've been up here, but we'll get our temperatures back into the 70s, mid-70s, which will be the warmest weather we've seen in quite some time here. And those two things are pretty tied together. Thankfully, looking ahead to this weekend, we're looking at a cold front that'll sweep across the area sometime this weekend, and that's going to bring us a chance of rain. Chances aren't looking very good for very much rain. There's about a 50% chance of wetting rain, which is, we define that as 1/10 of an inch, and there's about a 20% chance of 1/2 inch of rain. So we're not looking at very heavy rain or very much rain, but that's more rain than this area has seen in a very long time. So any rain is good news in that respect. And even if it doesn't rain, we are going to be more moist and calm through the weekend, which is great news. So, from what I hear, this will be my last briefing in this format for you all. So, it's been an honor to be here. Stay safe and have a great day.
Thank you. Next up, Air Resource Advisor Katie Sashry.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are experiencing a wind-blown dust and ash advisory that was issued by South Coast AQ&D. You can expect that to continue tonight and into tomorrow as the Santa Ana winds continue to blow. If you're curious about the Air Quality Index or AQI values, make sure that you continue to tune in to fire.airnow.gov. We would like to give special thanks to all the community members who have purchased and operate either a Purple Air or a Clarity sensor. We use that data on our fire map, and having that data density has really helped us fill in the gaps that are left by the standalone regulatory monitors. For some context, we have 4 monitors that have been impacted by the smoke and almost 10,000 low-cost sensors. So without this additional data, we wouldn't be able to give you the forecast accuracy that we have been able to provide to you on the fire thus far. After this, we expect continued updates for the smoke outlook as long as this team remains on the ground. You can tune in and get those at the same website. Once those blue fire outlook boxes disappear, please continue to tune into that website. Even though it's called fire.airnow.gov, that is a great resource for you to keep track of all of your air quality concerns. Thank you so much to this community from both myself and Jen. It has been an honor to serve you.
Thank you. Next up, for repopulation information, Law Enforcement Liaison Officer Jason Jared.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am here to report probably our best news of this entire incident. Basically what we have now is we turned all of this residents only down here, which you guys would know as White Park, Calaveras, and Mendocino, all of those on the A instead of the B, which is a little bit further south. We were able to change those today from a residents only to a warning. And then above that, pretty much all of the rest of the order area is now under a residents only. What that means is that all of our residents that are still affected by the burn scar are now able to go back to their residences as long as they meet the Sheriff's Department qualifications. I'm going to let the Sheriff's Department speak to that. But again, everybody can go home. This area is still under an order. Meet with the Sheriff's Department, make sure you pass that, but we can get you back now due to the collaboration and cooperation of all of our infrastructure partners, our cities, our states, our federal partners. Everybody did an amazing job. To do this amount of work in the time that we allotted is lightning fast. Very appreciative of everybody and all of their effort. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up with the public safety is Law Enforcement Officer Deputy Captain Williams with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department.
Good afternoon. As was mentioned earlier, the soft closures have began going north above Altadena Drive. We just want to make sure that you only come there if you're a resident. You have to show identification, proof that you live in that area, whether it's driver's license, registration, utility bill, something of that nature, just to show that you do belong in that area for right now. At this time, we're asking if you do show up for the soft closures, where only residents can just go up. The goal is to check your property, assess it, maybe grab some things if you can, and to leave the area. We're asking for people not to bring large vehicles, trailers, U-Haul trucks, things of that nature. That will be available at a later time soon after. There's still a lot of utility vehicles and emergency trucks in that area, and we don't want to get in the way as they do their work. The curfew will still be in place above north of Altadena for that soft closure area. It will be from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Again, it's still in place. The goal is for people to go up there, assess, grab some things as they need, and to leave. We ask if they do remain in that area not to walk around. We will have roving patrols in that area, and that curfew is still in effect in that area above Altadena Drive. And then one thing I want to mention, like I said, the curfew is still in place. We've made several arrests, so just be cognizant of that. We will be present throughout all of Altadena. We've been doing roving patrols, and that's going to increase. So I want the public to know that even though they don't see checkpoints, just know that we will still be in the area doing roving patrols. The Sheriff's Department has provided a lot of additional personnel just to be in that area. If residents see something that they would like to report, we encourage them to do so immediately. Please call either 911 for an emergency, or they can call the sheriff's station directly at 626-798-1131. We will respond to calls as needed. The station is fully functioning, and we will take report calls as needed. If you do get to your residence, you see something is suspicious, or you would like to make a report, please do not hesitate to let us know. And I just want to reiterate that we will be present throughout all of Altadena for the foreseeable future. Thank you.
Thank you for that update. Next up, with the Los Angeles County Public Works, Lee Miller.
Good afternoon. I'm Lee Miller with LA County Public Works. LA County is committed to working with residents and all agencies involved to make the recovery process run as smoothly as possible. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, or US EPA, is coordinating property assessments and household hazardous waste removal activities. This process has already begun in areas that are safe for the hundreds of inspection personnel to enter and provide clearance for the safe removal of hazardous debris. This is done at no cost to the property owners, and inspectors will go property to property. Each property with damaged or destroyed structures must be inspected, and household hazardous waste removed before any other fire debris is removed. After hazardous material are removed, the next phase of debris removal can begin. There will be a program for the cleanup, removal, and disposal of fire debris. Property owners can opt out into this program to have their properties appropriately cleared of hazardous fire debris. Alternatively, property owners can hire their own private contractors to clean up their property after the hazardous waste assessment. However, the contractor must be approved and follow applicable laws regarding fire debris and hazardous waste cleanup and disposal. Residents can call the County Debris Removal Hotline at 844-FIRE-DEBRIS or 844-347-3332 with any questions about debris removal. Continue to check recovery.lacounty.gov for the latest information on debris removal process. County building officials have made preliminary fire damage assessment in the Altadena area. Here's what must happen before your evacuation area is ready for reopening. Urban search and rescue operations need to be completed. Road must be cleared of hazards such as downed power lines, fallen trees, and broken glass. Utilities, including water, electricity, gas, and sewer systems, must be inspected to ensure they are safe. Homes and other structures must be evaluated for fire damage, structural weaknesses, and potential for collapse. All these activities are currently ongoing, and we have hundreds of building official representatives deployed throughout the burn area. A red tag building means the building is unsafe to occupy. Severe structural damage or other hazardous conditions make it dangerous for entry or use. A yellow tag building is partially restricted for use, meaning some areas of the building are unsafe, but other parts may be safe for limited occupancy or specific uses. There will be a written description of the damaged area on the yellow tag itself. The damaged area should not be entered. 10,000 properties have been assessed, and so far, county building and safety officials have placed 8,068 red tags and 331 yellow tags. Red and yellow tag structures have contact information for the San Gabriel Building and Safety Office. Please call 626-574-0941 if you have any questions or concerns. For the members of the public who are still evacuated, please know there is a massive coordinated effort going on behind the scenes. We are working extremely hard to return you back to your homes in a way that is safe for you and your loved ones to start the process of rebuilding. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, with an update from SoCal Gas, Jessica Alvarenga.
Good afternoon, and thank you to our first responders and partners for the hard work and collaboration during these difficult times. I want to assure you that SoCal Gas crews are working around the clock to safely secure natural gas infrastructure, assess the impacts of the fire, make necessary repairs, and continue restoring service to all of our customers. We are actively restoring service to homes not directly impacted by the Eaton fire. Our crews have restored service to an additional 515 customers in the last 24 hours, bringing our total number to 3,040. These are in the Sierra Madre, Altadena, and Pasadena areas. We will continue to restore services from southeast to northwest, with the most impacted areas being the last to assess and restore. SoCal Gas is also receiving assistance from contractors and mutual aid from SCG&E, Northwest Natural, and PG&E to support the restoration of service as quickly as possible. For an up-to-date map on areas currently restored, in progress, and under assessment, please visit socalgas.com/fires. For the restoration process, please note the following. An adult 18 years or older must be present during the time of restoration. SoCal Gas must have access to your meter and inside your residence to check the safety of your natural gas appliances. The process takes approximately 1 to 2 hours. Please do not attempt to restore or turn on your natural gas service yourself. And if we miss you, we will leave you instructions on how to make an appointment for gas restorations. For more information, or if you'd like to report a leak, please contact SoCal Gas at 1-800-427-2200 or visit our informational booth at the FEMA Disaster Recovery Center located at 3035 East Foothill in Pasadena. And for Spanish-speaking customers, si tiene preguntas para la compañía de gas en español, llame al número 1-800-342-4545 o visite nuestro puesto de información ubicado en el Centro de Recuperación de Desastres de FEMA, localizado en 3035 East Foothill Boulevard en la ciudad de Pasadena. Again, for up-to-date information, please visit our website. You can find information on the Eaton fire at socalgas.com/fires. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, with an update from SoCal Edison, Marissa Castro.
Good afternoon, everybody. Marissa Castro Salvati with Local Public Affairs at Southern California Edison. So many communities have experienced extreme devastation with the recent wild winds and wildfires. As a community, we face a long and challenging journey, and it's critical that we continue to support one another in our community. We still have significant work ahead of us. Our crews continue to work closely with fire, emergency operations, and other public safety staff. Together, we have over 3,500 SCE contractors and mutual assistance personnel assessing damage, performing repairs, and restoring power. We are very grateful for the continued efforts of the firefighters and other first responders, many from states across the West, our crews and our mutual assistance partners working tirelessly to keep our communities safe. High winds are expected in portions of Kern, Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino, and Ventura counties on Monday through Wednesday, January 22nd. Some customers may be de-energized either from a public safety power shutoff, strong winds, wildfires, or other conditions. As of 3:40 today, approximately 13,638 customers are without power. 263,228 customers are under consideration. As of today, LA, Los Angeles County will have 45,556 customers under consideration for PSPS. Customers are without power currently right now due to PSPS in Los Angeles County is 2,918. 7,625 still do not have power in the Eaton fire. We will continue to diligently get everyone's power back on. Our thoughts are with everyone affected by these extreme weather events. Please continue to look through our website at www.sce.com/outage for any of the updated information regarding the storm. You can also call 800-611-1911. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up with FEMA, Nicole Wilson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nicole Wilson, Public Affairs Specialist for FEMA. With this being the last virtual briefing here, we want to make sure you have some information in your hands where you can keep up with the FEMA information that is being released and stay on top of the information and the services and assistance that is being offered by FEMA. Again, we know that recovering from this disaster is going to be very hard, challenging for you, and a long road ahead. But we want you to know that FEMA is here. We will still be on the ground. We are committed to working this disaster and helping this community and the people recover. We learned that last night, even though some areas are being repopulated and survivors have access to their property, we know that it could be 6 months to a year before you are back in your homes. And so if you need assistance with rental or hotel, please be sure to stay in touch with FEMA, and we may be able to offer some of those some funds for some of those needs. I do want to clarify something. FEMA offers assistance for survivors who live in their home at least 6 months out of the year, which means it is your primary home. This is where you call home. Individuals who are looking for assistance to make repairs or replace a vacation home, a secondary home, or a business should reach out to the Small Business Administration, and they may be able to assist you with a low-interest loan. Inspectors are out in the field, and you may receive a phone call from an inspector or a text message from an inspector. Please be sure to return that call or text message. They will attempt 3 times to reach you. If you do not contact them back, your application may be stalled. If you are unsure that it is actually a FEMA inspector who is texting you or calling you, please call our 800 number to verify that it is indeed an inspector. And when you meet with that person, please be sure to verify their identification, ask for their ID. They will have information about your specific case also. If you want to access FEMA news releases and fact sheets as we put them out, you can access those things online at www.fema.gov/disaster/4856. We are planning to open additional disaster recovery centers. You can find DRC locations online at www.fema.gov/disaster/4856. fema.gov/DRC. Right now, we have 2 disaster recovery centers open. Again, that is at the Pasadena City Community College Education Center at 3035 East Foothill Boulevard and the UCLA Research Park West at 10850 West Pico Boulevard. Thank you so much. Again, FEMA is here. We will be here to assist you throughout this recovery process.
Thank you. Next up, our incident commanders, Eleni Pappas and Kevin Bohal.
As I have at past meetings, I'm going to start off with some of the unfortunate information when it comes to damage inspection. So first off, damage inspection is now 99% complete. We've inspected 17,790 structures, and unfortunately, 1,069 are damaged and 9,418 have been confirmed destroyed. I did want to speak a little bit, obviously this is the last virtual meeting. Yesterday evening we had a great collaboration with the public in person at the community meeting. As you've heard, major progress has been made regarding repopulation in the last few days. The next goal will be support and collaboration for the next step in the communities affected by this traffic event. As we don't have any tentative community meetings scheduled, I did want to reiterate the unified team will continue to support and provide updated information as available regarding efforts and actions in the coming days, weeks, and months. Thank you.
Thank you for that. That's going to end our presenters for the evening, but we're going to start our question and answer. And I'd like to bring up Assistant Chief Springle to address the first question.
Hey, good afternoon, Pat Springle, local fire chief, community of Altadena. So I've continued to receive questions from the public regarding 911 services. As a reminder, all requests for emergency services, even within the fire zone, should utilize the 911 system. This includes both fire requests and law enforcement requests. For the Altadena community, Fire Station 11, Fire Station 12, and Fire Station 66 are all operating as per normal. So again, all requests for emergency services should utilize the 911 system. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up to respond to a question, Operations Section Chief Joe Walton.
Good afternoon. The question I received was, what is mop-up? Mop-up is a technique we utilize when we find a hot spot inside the fire perimeter that has heat. And once we find the heat, we'll utilize hand tools. Firefighters will utilize hand tools. They'll grub the material and they'll utilize water. We'll work that area we call grubbing until it's cool to the touch. And when we say mop up and patrol, we utilize that technique. Definitely, we usually start on the fire perimeter and around structures to make sure we have no heat around the fire perimeter or around houses. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to bring out Air Resource Advisor Jen Croft.
Okay, we've got some additional questions now that we're seeming to transition kind of out of this initial response from the incident management team who were suppressing the fire. Now we're getting more and more questions about when I go back in, will my air be tested, will my soil be tested, and what if my house is still standing, is it still safe to go into those locations? I think these questions are very valid questions. The hard part is we are responding in an hourly basis with a lot of live stream data, specifically geared to how the smoke impacts will lay down and impact the public health, our personnel exposure, and road and transportation systems. As we move into this next phase, keep in mind, every time we have structures consumed during wildfire events, the release of PFAS, plastics, toxics, pollutants, and what we're calling volatile organic compounds is a likelihood within the initial impact zone. Right now, we're referring to that as the zone that's in the primary rubble where structures, whether they're still standing in a single neighborhood or the entire neighborhood was unfortunately lost. People going back into that zone are being advised to wear respiratory protection and utilize the great kits of PPE that the LA County Public Health is passing out at your checkpoints. If you're not able to get those at the checkpoints, again, go to one of the disaster recovery centers, ask for public health. They will accommodate and provide you that information and those protective equipment. For those of you that are a little farther departed from the initial impact zone of this fire, keep in mind, during the first 4 days, I watched that smoke lay over your entire community, bringing hazardous air quality in terms of the PM 2.5, but also carrying all of those volatile compounds in that column. So, as you return to your homes, or if you're noticing that your house still smells like smoke, the likelihood of those compounds on all surfaces that are not glass, steel, or ceramic is high. The likelihood in your fabrics, in particular, mattresses, pillows, clothing, draperies, those items are going to be best adjusted by washing them. The particulates go into fabrics and the fabrics kind of absorb those toxins immediately. So even if the fire never reached your house, but the smoke did, you need to kind of address that and protect yourself. The best advice I can give you right now is this is a slow process because they're going to be moving back in, they're going to be assessing and recovering your property, which is addressing the hazmats, and then they're going to be able to remove some of that material following the EPA guidelines. That is a different response than we are at, and you're going to find the answers you were looking for, in particular to the timing of that testing, the extent of that testing, and the actions you'll need to take at the EPA disaster recovery locations that you'll find on that LA County recovery site, okay? So if you have any additional questions in relation to that, take a look at that fire.airnow.gov site. On the top bar, you'll see opportunities to maybe protect your house, start sealing up some of those empty cracks that my PM 2.5 likes to find its way in, and prepare for additional ashfall and all the upcoming fires that will likely impact all of our communities nationwide this summer. Take care of yourselves, prepare in advance, and I wish you well.
Thank you. That's going to conclude our question and answer. And this, I'd just like to announce this will be our last virtual meeting. If you have any further questions, do not hesitate to bring them into us and we'll try to answer them while we're still here on the incident. We'd like to thank you for all your support and we hope that we helped your community. Have a good night.